We just finished filming the service today, the Gospel according to Spielberg, and then we filmed Pause for Prayer that will come out on Tuesday. And this is the podcast that we're recording that will come out on Thursday. This is where I've sat for a year on Sundays, and I have all these cameras to look at. So you've got camera 2, which is over here. And this is the camera that I look to for a close-up, and also when I'm talking to the digital congregation. It's so good having them in the building. Well, not in the building, although they are on the screen. It's really fantastic. They almost feel like something out of Star Wars, Superman. You remember the baddies in Superman when they get caught in that glass? Actually, that's not good, is it? Because then I'm saying that they're like the baddies in Superman, which they're not. They're all lovely. And then you've got camera 5 here. This is the camera that I look at when I'm sat on that couch. And then these 2 other cameras, I don't know what they're for, but they do something. And then camera 6 over here. This is the camera that you look at if you're on the other couch. And then you've got these screens down here. So this screen shows you what happens when it's... oh, look, there you are. Hi, Sam, you all right?
Hello.
This shows you what happens when it's going out live. This is slightly delayed, I don't know. And then this blank one down here has got the digital congregation on it. It is quite disconcerting if you see them yawn in your talk or whatever, because there's only 6 of them that you see. All this stuff goes on. When I went to Bible college about a quarter of a century ago, I never thought that I would be doing anything like this. And with the skills that we've got in this church, it's made it quite a smooth transition, although it's been a challenge. There's been moments of comedy, moments of suspense. Some might say there's been moments of horror, especially when they had a close-up on me that was too close. Why are you smiling at that, son? That's hurtful. And it got me thinking, what would my life be like if it was a film? What would your life be like if it was a film? I'm not talking about an autobiography of your life, like I was born at a very early age, blah, 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 blah. I'm talking more about what kind of film would your life be like? Some of us, our life is science fiction. Our heads are just always in the cloud, sci-fi, fantasy, and we're never really in the real world, and we drift from one thing to the other and never take root in anywhere. Some of us, our life is a rom-com. It's full of romance and love and all of that, and that's good, but do we add much to the world we're in? Don't get me wrong, it's good to have those moments. We can't be serious all the time. That snort laughing when you can't get a word out is a priceless part of life. Maybe some of us, our life is a horror. Maybe at the moment we're just thinking it's so dark and bleak and I do not know the way out. The struggles and challenges of mental well-being out of this pandemic are going to be huge. Let's help one another to not allow our stories, the films of our lives, to drift into horror. Maybe your film is an action adventure. I guess that's been a challenge in lockdown, hasn't it? But Jesus wants us to have that in our lives. He wants us to have a bit of action and adventure. You know those moments in Raiders of the Lost Ark, for example, where you're not quite in control and you have to use all of your skill and energy to get something done. Jesus wants some of that in our life, alongside the rom-com. And maybe sometimes actually a bit of the sci-fi and fantasy. If we can't be expectant of God moving in ways beyond our understanding, then that's not a healthy position to be in as a Christian, is it? Maybe your film of your life is more like Schindler's List or Amistad, one of those serious, thought-provoking films that challenges others. That I enjoy having those people in my life. They're people that we should be allowed to invite in, rather than people who impress themselves on us and say, I'm going to make a difference in your life. That never, in my opinion, seems to work out that well. What would your life look like if it was a film? Maybe it would have a bit of everything in it, especially over this pandemic period. Can I encourage you, as we begin to come out of lockdown, to have some moments that are more reflective? You know those shots in a film where you just see rustling grass as the camera pans slowly to the right and then up to the sky and you get the bigger picture. Those moments in a film are so important because they give us a chance to breathe and to listen. When we can come back together physically in June, we're going to spend 4 weeks in our series thinking about hitting the ground listening rather than hitting the ground running. We're going to reflect together because we've lost a lot and we maybe haven't been able to grieve as much as we would like to or need to. And so we want to spend that time thinking about what have we been through and what have we learned and who are we going to be and what are we going to do. Maybe that would be a good place to start filming in June. Maybe you should do some pre-edits now. Maybe you could have a look at that story for yourself. What kind of film would my life be? I hope it's one where Jesus is the main character, whether it's rom-com, sci-fi, whatever it may be. And friends, even if your film is got a tinge of horror to it at the moment, Jesus can still be present there. Take care and stay safe.